Hi, I'm Catherine from KatherineLearnsStuff. Today I'm going to walk you through how to make this cool Valentine's Day backdrop. So let's jump in. The supplies that we need for this craft are we need cardstock that is red and pink. I'm going to be using about 12 different sheets of cardstock in total, just so that I can have some garland that can go through doorways. And then you're going to need some coordinating ribbon. You can use pink or red or whatever color you have that matches sort of your paper or just follows in with the Valentine's theme. So let's jump over to our computers quickly and I'll walk you through how to set up a file in Cricut Design Space to cut this out quickly. Alternately, you can cut this out with your hands with scissors if you'd prefer. So what I'm going to do is in Cricut Design Space, I'm just going to add in some hearts and I'm going to make a bunch that are, I'm going to change the color here. I'm going to make these red and I'm going to change the size. I'm going to make a bunch that are 3 inches in height. I'm going to make a bunch that are 2 inches in height. And I'm going to make a bunch that are 1 inch in height. Now let's go 1.5. It's a bit better. And so when I cut these out, these are going to be on sort of different, they're going to be assembled sort of like this, right, on my curtain or on my garland. And I'm actually going to copy and paste a whole bunch of these in different sizes, and then I'm going to arrange them on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. So I've gone ahead and I've copy and pasted a whole bunch of different hearts and I've placed them around my rectangle, and I've made this rectangle 8.5 by 11 so that that's the size of cardstock that I'll be using to cut these out. And I've got them all in red because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a whole bunch of different sheets of this in different colors, but I've got them sort of set up on one page. So what I'm going to do, this one needs to be adjusted just a little bit to stay within my borders here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to delete my background and I'm going to select all the hearts in this area and I'm going to attach them together. I'm going to do the same thing for this one here, and I'm going to attach these together so that when I hit make in a second, attach this together. When I hit make, what's going to happen, I'm not going to save this. What's going to happen is that these hearts are all going to fit within an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. So I'm not going to have to rearrange these every time that I'm cutting this out. And the same thing with the other sheet. They're all sort of arranged, and I've tried to minimize paper wastage as much as possible. I possibly could have gotten an extra heart in this location here, but that's okay. So when I'm cutting this out, I'm just going to sort of duplicate the number of pages that I want. So each page, since I have 3 different sizes, I'm going to do 3 different colors of red and pink. So I'm going to at least make 3 copies of this, but I'm just going to change it with the copies here. I'm sorry, I don't have my highlighter turned on today. I'm just going to change this number so that if my Cricut crashes on me when I'm cutting this out, I don't need to rearrange everything again and try maximizing my paper space. Now, if you're using a 12 by 12 cardstock, you could have changed this size on your template to be 12 by 12. I'm just using 8.5 by 11 because that's what I have lots of, so that's why I've chosen this size. So I'm going to hit make and I'm going to cut out a whole bunch of these hearts and I'll meet you over at my workstation. So I spent about the last hour cutting out hearts, and I've got 3 different colors and 3 different sizes. So I've got the large, I've got the medium, and then I've got the small. And I probably could have put my scoring stylus through the small and the medium ones earlier, because when I'm gluing these together, I'm going to want them to sort of butterfly out, but I can just do that by hand. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of color coordinate them so that each heart has 3 colors like this. And since there is the same number of hearts in each color, I will have the same number of hearts for each size, and I'll be able to put them together. So I'm going to quickly organize these up so that I can start to glue it in a sort of faster method. So bear with me as I change my camera here, and I'll show you them all lined up nicely so that I can just glue it all and have this project completed quickly. So now that all of my hearts are lined up in sort of a color coordination combination, so I've got 3 colors on each heart so that they're not sort of repeating themselves, I'm quickly just going to start gluing all the hearts together. Now this is going to take a while, so again I'm going to fast forward it, but all I'm doing is I'm putting a line of glue on the back here, and then I'm going to glue this on here like so, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this one here and glue this down here. And then I'm going to continue doing this with all of my hearts, so we will meet back once they're all sort of glued together. Now that all of my hearts are glued together, I have some options. I can just leave them the way that they are, so I've got a little bit of different colors on them, like this one and this one, right? They're all 3 colors. But what I can do is if I want to just fold these up a little bit to give them a little bit more depth. I can do that as well. So you don't need to. It'll add a little bit more time to the craft, but you can do that as well. So I'm going to do that for a bunch of them, and I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Just to show you a bit of a difference, what I've done here is this one has no curl on the hearts and this one's been curled. So they look just a little bit different. This one's got more depth to it and this one's just flat. The only difference is that this one's going to take you more time to complete than this one. So that's sort of a main time consideration that you have. If you're short on time, this is the faster way to go. Now that I've got all of my hearts curled out, so that they've got a little bit more shape to them and more depth to them, it's time to attach them onto a ribbon. Now I'm going to be putting these onto doorways and door frames, so I need about 7 feet. You can use more or less, depends on how far you want them to go. And so I'm just going to measure out 7 feet of ribbon and start to glue these. Now when I'm doing these, I'm going to find the end here, I like to have them all glued on the same side. Typically I've done lots of different types of garlands. I've done snowflakes and numbers, but if you have them all on one side, then when it's hanging up they're all going to be sort of facing the same way, and the other side will look like this, just the glue on the back, right? Now so with the hearts though, since they're sort of 3-dimensional, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do it on both sides. So it's going to be, one will be flipped up and one will be flipped down, so that you can get the hearts on both sides. But the choice is yours on how you want to do this. And I like to do a bunch at a time, so I'm going to be gluing several on at a time. Also, I like to have them about 1/2 foot apart, so I use quite a few hearts per ribbon, but that's okay as well. And ideally you want to have them all sort of facing in the same direction. I'm going to do a bunch one side and then I'm going to do a bunch on the other side, so bear with me as I get these all lined up here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on each heart, and I'm going to stick my ribbon onto it. And so I'm just going to put one on, going to flip my ribbon, and then we're just going to carry on. And at the end of each ribbon, you want to have a little bit of slack left over so that you can tie your ribbon onto something. So either have it taped onto the doorway or have it left loose. So this one's done, and I'm going to now continue with my other ones. Oftentimes I like to overcomplicate things, and this is one of those times that I've done that, but I've done that on purpose. What you can do if you're short on time or you don't want to go way overboard, you can just simply make hearts, just regular pink and red hearts, or just one color or lots of different colors, and just use hearts on your garland. And so I'm just going to quickly do a few here with just hearts with nothing on them, and I'm just going to quickly glue these onto a strand of garland to show you what those look like as well. The cool thing about this Valentine's Day backdrop is that you can actually make this into anything you would like. You can actually put this on door frames or on the mantle or on the wall, or you can add it all over a curtain and make it into a custom curtain or a nice backdrop anywhere around your house. And there you have it. We've successfully designed our Valentine's Day backdrop. I hope you've enjoyed this project as much as I have. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Happy crafting!